just don't normally, haven't done this for a while, but they just turned it off as soon as I come out, but they don't want me to prove my point that there is always noise going on outside my door. Oh, my little pigeon friend. But as you can see, they've got the truck there with doing some sort of, oh yeah, they're over in the house opposite. They're doing their usual gardening. Oh, but I am. They're always making a noise over there, and next door as well. And then, you know, you shouldn't have to put up with, see what I mean? See, over there. Is it coming out? It's very loud for me, but it's probably not coming out on the mobile as loud. But it's just the usual street noise. See, if you're doing work in your own house, a house that's on the other side of the road, a few doors down, shouldn't be able to hear it, you know, inside your house. But that's just... I'm just closing that door now. But, you know, that's just an example of continual street noise. Like, it's one thing to say if that only happened once a week or once a fortnight or something, but basically the minute they stop making that noise, within a very short period of time on the street, some other noise will come up. And it will depend on if you are feeling, you know, trying to concentrate on something or just in your own space. It always happens immediately then, you know, which you're always trying to do. So as you can imagine, you know, and these noises that come, they're very grating, they're very, they go kind of through you. And some of them are actually at a dangerous pitch, even though they mightn't sound that loud, but they actually are not acceptable to a human mind and their frequency. But if you mention it to some people, it may not seem as loud. And don't forget that because we have different types of people, shall we say, a real human being that is sensitive to with all their senses and take everything in is different to the chaos that the artificial beings live in. They like a lot of commotion, a lot of noise and a lot of stuff because they are actually not real life. You know, normal life form is irritated by and disturbed by unnatural, negative frequency noises, particularly if they're of a technical nature, you know. And the more you have, if you have sound all the time, you become even hyper-vigilant to the negative sound too, because you're conditioned to almost anticipate it, and then when it happens, as it does, it produces more disruption in your mind, or anxiety as they call it, the different, you know, whatever you want to call it, but it means that you're feeling very uneasy and unpleasant. And, you know, you're not just, you know, two people coming back there with their fake coffees and all their stuff like the fake android artificial beings do. So they'll get into their car, they're pretending to be real life humans, but their actions show that they're not, because they do everything in front of you in a kind of way that you see as copying yourself. You know, whereas if they were real, natural human beings, they'd be doing their own thing. They wouldn't just follow everything you do. And that's basically another way that you can spot them. You know. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that occasionally human beings don't follow other human beings. They do. But it's not the same as this just artificial copying, which has no... it's like they don't have any personality or thoughts or what's the word? Oh, sorry, that's my TV going in the background because I have to turn everything up loud to try to drown out other noises, you see. And that's another thing too, though. If you are trying to watch something, of course, then they'll send noise and stuff around. So that's all fake. Yeah, that's purely staged, fake, annoying noise sent into my place. I'll have to come in, actually, away from it even, because that is just sent there so that I can't concentrate at all. But also, they're not really doing all that work because they're even in that same house, they're doing it all the time. You know, like if you cleaned up your little front, you wouldn't be doing it again the next week and the next week, you know. But like I say, the way that the Matrix and its... the way that the Matrix gets away with all this activity, or this noise, because I'm only filming the noise, I can't get the mobile and film it all the time. It's too much. Most of the time you just try to ignore it. But it's a continual thing. If one house does it and then another house too along does some other noise, it appears there's no connection, you see. But also they are quite within legal rights too, because between daylight hours, people have told me this, they're like, oh, what are you complaining about a little noise in the daytime when it's daylight hours? That's not the point. The point is that, yes, daylight hours, like with daylight savings now, daylight goes from about 6 in the morning. In summertime, daylight goes from 6 in the morning right through till about 8:30, nearly 9 at night, okay? So that's a long time. So if you have, so that gives, you know, a street and the community, as they like to call it in Leichhardt and around, or the suburb, you know, all that time to have some sort of noise going on around a person. You know, so it isn't about, yeah, it does look as though you are just complaining about someone doing some activity that they want to do or need to do in their house. But it is a systemised attack on the human person, on their frequency and their, hello little pigeon, and they're a bit hot now, you better fly away, I think. Yeah, you better fly away now because it's a bit hot out there for a pigeon. Find a shady spot. That bread's been out there for days. It's very stale. I should put something better. But yeah, so it's like if one person's, so it is like where, yeah, that's how the game is played. So it's like if you complain about one, and you said it to someone, oh gee, like if I went out there now and someone was going past and say, gee, they're noisy over there, they'd say, oh yeah, but they've got to do their work, they're probably doing a good job. But they wouldn't know that a half an hour, see how it's grating noise, how they start it up real loud and then sort of, you know, almost grinding to the way they do it. That's all deliberate, by the way. It sounds accidental as though they're just doing work. But essentially, oh, I'm getting hyped up here, you see, just talking about it and listening to it. That's the idea, so that, so I'm agitated. It won't come out in the mobile, but it's like, it's very aggravating noise, you know, deliberately done that way. It doesn't even flow. That's another thing too. It's always, there's the usual up the side going out, but I haven't done this for a while, and I'm going to fold up, but I'm just making this point on some sort of theme that yeah, it's not about complaining about one incident. It is about how the minute that stops, within the space of half an hour or an hour, over the space of, like I say, a whole day, then someone else in another house will start it with a noise, which comes into your house. Like, it's not as though I have to go outside to hear it, because if it was just outside, you could close your doors, but it does come into the house, all these noises. Some of them come in really loud, some less loud, but you're always conscious of noise, So it's like that. And also you're agitated, so you never know when it's going to happen. You know that it will happen, because it always does. And the minute you think that it won't, like if you had, like, say, a half an hour where you didn't get anything, actually that's almost rare, because even if you don't get noise, you'll always get, like, people outside, or cars making, hearing the cars because the cars are louder. So listen, that's just very annoying, but it shouldn't have to come into other people's houses. But the fact that none of the neighbours or anyone else complains about all this continual noise, as I've said, on my street, shows that they are part of the noise, that they are artificial, technical people that are not natural human beings, or not normal. And they are anti-life, because they are against, what appears to be other people. But they know that those other people that they are working against are different to them, and that's why they target them and turn against them. They can tell the difference in the frequency. I actually can't. I mean, I can now, because I watch the actions and I see, if you see negative actions and people part of this negative system, that it is a system because they are all combined, then you know that. But at an actual frequency level, like one-on-one, it would take me a lot longer, whereas they can spot it after a conversation, or even watching your actions to some extent, I would imagine. I'm not sure how long it takes them to spot that, but there's always some noise going on in some place, or creating negative chaos, really, I suppose you could say. It's not a pleasant chaos, You can have positive types of chaos. In other words, you could have a lot of activity going on, but it doesn't have to be of a low negative frequency. Whereas the chaos created by the artificial technical beings is all disruptive, negative, and destructive towards, the spiritual human being. But, I know say spiritual sounds fancy, because they have their brand of spirituality too. But it's basically a fake emulation of true human spirituality. Whether they believe it or not, I'm not sure. But don't forget, some human beings are involved in that too, because you could be, even though it is not real for them and it is a false spirituality, real human beings are attracted to that sort of thing, because at the back of their minds, they probably realise that they're looking for that, because that's what they really are. So they can. They, theoretically speaking, could be roped into it. I'm not sure. They're the cars pulling in opposites. See, eventually you'll have the cars pulling around on the street, but they're a bit slow today, because they know I'm filming, you see. I haven't done this for a while outside the street, and I said I wouldn't do it again, that I will always go further away from home. But But I think maybe it is, it's not a bad idea to verify the, that it is going on all around you, and that there is this systematic noise situation that goes on, which is very disruptive to, to your well-being and even to your survival. Certainly at a spiritual level, it's very disruptive to your survival because, it makes you angry and negative, which puts you in the same category as those that are working against you, which is what they want. They want to bring you down to their level, so that you look worse than them, and that way they look better, and they look like the genuine spiritual real people, and you look like an angry, negative person. Basically, that's the name of the game as far as I can see it. And of course it really does bring you down too, so basically that means that, they basically defeat you then too. So that you're not living your life, you're not at a reasonable mood, you're not, so it means your frequency and vibration in this frequency vibration battle reality is very low. So they keep the upper hand, they keep the reality going, they have full control over the reality, which is, what they endeavour to do, to keep control of the reality. And in fact, they want more control, even for that matter. They can't have too much control. Even a human being doing simple things they see as a threat. So they want total control, And because they are, like, because they're kind of geared that way in their mind, they keep going at that too. They're never ever satisfied. They always want to bring you down further too. Because they don't see it as they don't even see it that way. They think that even when they're bringing you down, that they don't, because they're not real. They don't see you as real, so they don't feel it the same way you do anyway. They don't feel it at all, really. They're pretty much oblivious to it. So therefore they're justified in their own minds in what they do. They don't have to justify it. They just think that what they do is how everyone is, And by and large that's true because it's an artificial domain populated by artificial people. It's only the few humans that are now left because many have probably gone or been taken, down by this artificial matrix, because it is hard to live in it and to sustain your way of being amongst all this artificial technical chaos that's going on around, and that's putting it fancy and making it sound, not too bad, because it actually is, it is actually very, very, very destructive. In fact, that's what it really is. It's like using something whilst destroying it at the same time. See, it's never like out and out, it's a slow, gradual grinding away at the human kind of being, state of being, at this human mind and the motions and things, But at any rate, I better close this because I just wanted to show the noise, and hopefully it's stopped now for a wee bit.